Right, so we've got Callum coming in today for some, I say initial testing in the gym, for some baseline testing. Callum actually fought on a show in Spain at the weekend. He's an amateur boxer. So what we want to do is get him in off the back of his fight and basically go through some testing with him in the gym. So go arms nice and straight, knees up, toes up, lower back into the floor, and then try and extend your body as much as you can. The reason I want to try and do it straight away after his fight is this is actually the time where his body's probably in its most optimum state. We've kind of peaked into the fight. He's fought on Saturday. He's had a few days off now where he's almost had a chance to deload. His body's recovered a bit. Unless he's feeling any kind of aches or pains, then he's going to be in a really good position to do some testing. So today is all about really understanding where he's at, understanding what changes were made over the course of his last camp, and then now laying the foundations for this new camp. So we're going to look at a little bit of sort of power-based work. We're going to look at some strength testing, and we're going to look at some conditioning testing as well to allow us to build a nice big like 360 profile of him that can then inform his program going forward for this next camp. Eyes looking forward. I want you to hang one leg off the box, and I want you to think about attacking the floor, spend as little time on the ground as possible, and then jump as high as you can. So I'm going to hang one foot, I'm going to step and land. First test we're going to walk through is a drop jump. The whole idea with a drop jump is we're trying to look at how effectively Callum can absorb high levels of force and then simultaneously start to then produce high levels of forces off the back of that. Particularly for amateur boxing that's very fast, there's a lot of kind of in and out fast movement. The more elastic that foot and ankle is, and the more effectively he can absorb high levels of force and then produce simultaneous high levels of force, the more effective he's going to be at closing that distance really quickly. But also it's going to give him a bit of a benefit when it comes to conditioning. The more he's able to use that Achilles tendon to really drive a lot of that motion, the less energy he's going to expend through his calf, because there's going to be less of his calf muscle doing the work. So what we're looking at here is a blend of a really fast contact time, so looking at how little time he's spending on the plate, in comparison then to how high he's jumping. And what we're going to look at is that contact time on the floor and that flight time in the air, and that's going to give us what's called a reactive strength index. So big dip down, jump as high as you can. Okay, so hands on hips, big dip. The second test then we're going to look at is a counter movement jump. Although it might look quite removed and quite different from boxing, there's actually a really strong relationship between vertical jump performance and punching power. Reason being is when you come to do a vertical jump, you're looking at producing a lot of force very quickly through some of the muscles such as your ankle, your knee, your hip. Very, very similar to boxing. When you're throwing a punch, you're looking at producing a lot of force very quickly, again, through ankle, knee and hip. So what you tend to see is if someone can express a lot of force quickly, in other words, perform very well on a counter movement jump, they can probably also back that up with quite a hard punch. So that's one thing we want to look at as well, is like how quickly Callum can produce that force. Another thing that we're going to look at within that jump is actually looking at how much force he can express in that jump. Because when we come on to one of the next tests, the mid-thigh pull, we're actually going to look at them profiling those two tests together. And that's going to give us a metric called the dynamic strength index, which for this next camp can give me a good idea as basically, does Callum need more rate of force development work, or does he need more maximal strength? Where do we need to spend more time to probably get the most benefit for him athletically? I don't want it to be a grip strength test. So all you're going to do, hands are going to go through the two loops. You're going to feed one loop under, hand goes through, grab the bar, thighs stay touching the bar, chest is like slightly over the top of the bar as you can see. I'm going to count you in 3, 2, 1, pull. And when I say pull, all you're imagining you're doing is basically locking out the top of the deadlift. After the jump, we're going to go look at a mid-thigh pull. With the mid-thigh pull, we're simply looking at how much force Callum can generate. Primarily, we're looking at his lower body and his posterior chain, but the whole idea with this is we want to look at just ultimately how much force his body can generate. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Come on, pull, 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 get as high as you can. Go, 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 go. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Time. Although there's not a huge amount of maximal strength required in boxing on its own, maximal strength is going to be a really important physical quality to underpin a lot of things like his power. So we want to make sure that he hasn't got kind of a weakness here that is his ability to produce force overall, that then might be limiting how fast he can produce force. We want to make sure he can kind of produce enough force that then we've got a bit of wiggle room, a bit of headroom to actually look to try and then look at how quickly he can then produce that force. After the mid-thigh pull, we're then going to go look at a grip strength. Really simply, when your job is to punch someone a lot or punch objects a lot, you need to make sure that you've got really nice, strong wrists. So whenever Callum's connecting with some pads, connecting with a heavy bag, connecting with an opponent, what's going to be happening is the muscles of his forearm are going to be contracting isometrically to really try and stabilize that wrist joint. what we want to do with the grip strength is basically look at how strong his wrists are. Because the stronger his wrists are, the more hammering he's going to be able to take when he's punching. The other thing we want to make sure as well is there's not a big deficit left versus right. So if he's got one wrist that is much stronger than the other, it would then be a bit of a rationale for me to dive into that and look at why that might be happening, and then potentially within his next training program, put an intervention in place that's going to look to address that. So we want to look at just how strong his wrists are overall, and also is there any kind of asymmetry left versus right. Then we get into some of the conditioning testing on the assault bike. What I want to do is look at all three of Callum's energy systems. So I want to look at his alactic system, so how quickly his body can generate energy using his alactic system, which is kind of his most short, sharp, powerful energy system. I want to look at his anaerobic glycolytic energy system, which is more sustained efforts of very high intensity, around sort of 10 to 30 seconds. And then I also want to look at his aerobic energy system. The reason I want to look at all three is a lot of people think of energy systems as being like light switches. You know, you'll turn one on and you'll use your aerobic system, and then you'll turn that off and use your alactic system. Like, energy systems don't really function like that. It's actually much more like a dimmer switch where you'll be using all at the same time, but certain ones might be turned up during some actions, where other ones might be turned up during other actions. So what I want to do is I want to look at all of his energy systems, how effectively they're all producing energy, and then that'll help me guide his conditioning for the next few sort of months ahead as well. First thing first, we want to look at your alactic energy system. So the energy system that's responsible for creating energy the fastest and also the most powerful. We're going to do a 10-second sprint on here. So 10 seconds, everything you've got. 2 minutes rest. We're going to do 3 of them. Okay. Also going to put the heart rate monitor on him just to look at his recovery between them. I'm not too interested in that. The main thing with the 10-second sprint is just how quickly he can produce really, really high power outputs. 3, 2, 1. Let's go, give me everything you got. Come on, 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 come on. Good. Let's go, Carl. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. 5 seconds, let's go. Everything you got. Push, 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 push. Time. That's it. And just sit and rest. After that 10-second sprint, we're then going to look at a 30-second Wingate test, so basically a 30-second max effort. Next one basically going to do is a 30-second max effort test. The key to this one kind of relies on you a little bit. I don't want you to sandbag it. So basically what I mean by that is, I know your max speed is like 955 as your max watts. I want you to try and start off as close to that as you can, okay? So it's not a 30 seconds where you kind of pace yourself in 30 seconds. I want you to start with everything you've got and just keep going as hard as you can. What I'm going to do while you're doing the test is I'm going to stand here, I'm going to video your screen, because the main thing that I'm interested in isn't necessarily your power, we've already looked at that. I actually want to look at every 5 seconds, what watts are you at, and then we can look at what's called like your fatigue index. So over the course of your 30 seconds, when you're using your more anaerobic glycolytic energy system, like how effectively you're utilizing that system. So basically how powerful is that system? What watts can you sit at for 30 seconds of like a really hard, fast, intense effort? Okay. Good, Cal, everything you've got, let's go. Go for me, go, 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 keep going, 10 seconds gone, come on. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. 10 seconds, come on, seconds to go, 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 go. Time. Nice, man. To assess his aerobic energy system, I'm actually going to do a 60-second recovery off the back of the 30-second sprint. So he's going to do 30 seconds, everything he's got, and then once he's finished that test, I'm going to ask him to sit on the bike, stay as still as he can for 60 seconds, and I'm just going to look at what he manages to recover within his heart rate in that time. So as a percentage, I'm going to look at from his highest heart rate to a 60-second recovery, how much he recovers during that time, and that's going to give me a really good insight into how aerobically fit he is. Because if he had a very low level of aerobic fitness, I might only expect him to recover 10% in that time, because his body's not able to effectively clear out a lot of the metabolic buildup that's happened from that 30-second sprint, because it's going to be his aerobic system that helps clear out a lot of that waste product and basically tries to return him to normal, to homeostasis. If he recovers 25, 30%, 35%, that's going to be a good indicator that aerobically he's really fit, because his body's able to get a lot of oxygen back into the system quite quickly, clear out a lot of that waste product, and basically return him back to rest much, much faster. Main thing from Callum's testing today, big positives are that there were a lot of PBs set from his last camp. We managed to hit a PB in his drop jump today, which shows me that a lot of the interventions we put in place last time around his hops, around some of his jumps have really, really worked to increase the elasticity and that reactive strength around his foot and ankle. We saw good improvements in his mid-thigh pull, so a lot of the strength work we've been doing in his last camp has really benefited Callum. One thing from his last camp when I actually looked at his dynamic strength index was he didn't have much headroom to try and improve his overall power. The actual force he could put out in a jump was very, very similar to his maximal mid-thigh pull, his maximal force out expression. So last camp was very based around maximal strength. Good thing for me as S&C coach is that's worked. You know, he's hit a new PB today, which is great. Not much change in his counter movement jump. That stayed pretty stagnant for the past few weeks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down, rerun the numbers on his dynamic strength index, have a look now what these percentages are. Might be in this next camp we double down on a little bit more power and rate of force development work, or it might be actually we just still keep running with some more maximal strength stuff. But overall, 2 PBs set in 2 of this test, which is great. Good levels of grip strength so far. There's no difference asymmetrically left versus right, which is really positive. So there's nothing we need to look at further within his hands or within his elbows, within his forearms. And then finally, conditioning testing looked really good. His 10-second sprint, there's definitely a bit that can be done to try and improve his overall alactic output, but his actual aerobic recoverability after his 30-second sprint was huge. I think he was down, on initial calculations anyway, about 36% recovered in that 60 seconds, which is huge. So definitely the minute for Callum, it's seeming like in his next camp, we really want to focus on a little bit more of his high-end power development, and probably the same when it comes to his energy systems as well. We probably want to dial a little bit more into that alactic and aerobic energy system, because aerobically he seems to be quite a monster, but I'll dig into the data and have a little bit of a look at that some more. So first things, thank you for watching. This is video number 1 in the YouTube series. My kind of goal with this channel is to give you a bit of an insight into some of the testing and training that I do with some of the fighters that I work with, as well as also in future, you know, maybe do a few Q&As, maybe look to answer some of the questions that you guys might have regarding strength and conditioning for high-level fighters. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know any questions you've got in the comments, and I'll see you soon.